Alright, man, welcome back to another Her Nature reaction. We're gonna keep watching these and dropping these until we catch up, chat. We got an older one today that I haven't seen 6 months ago. The best aura moments in nature. Now, like always, let's not waste any more fucking time and just get right into this, chat. I always forget to make sure you have something to smoke, some water, maybe something to drink. I still have the bottle of water still on my desk from a couple days ago. Here, I'll take a... drink water. Yo, what the hell? Hell no! See, that's what I'm out. We're out on that. We are out on that. Chat. We're out on that. I'm not fucking with that, bro. Lion.
Aura. You've heard the word, even if it was after the brain rot brigade ruined it for everyone. The definition of aura is not important, it's the feeling. It's commanding an entire room without speaking. It's when your name is spoken, it demands
it is the feeling.
Man, look, we don't even need this intro, you know what aura is. Captain America wielding the hammer of Thor.
Aura, yes, aura. Tom Brady winning another ring, aura, even though I don't really like, honestly, that's a bad example. I'll let him do the
Steph Curry
examples.
having an entire building watching.
Bro, of course he does Steph. That's the basketball version of, god damn it.
Shoot. Except for Steph Curry, aura. Experts advising tourists against even saying this bear's name for their safety, aura. Animals can have it too, and when you talk about aura, this bear might just be the mascot. This is bear number 122, but he's mainly known as the boss. He's a 700-pound walking boulder of a bear and the most dominant grizzly in Banff National Park in Alberta. He's your biggest predator's big...
Wait, he just be walking around while people be walking around? They be walking around simultaneously?
bear and the most dominant grizzly in Banff National Park in Alberta.
Never.
He's your biggest predator's biggest predator, as the boss has been recorded catching, murking, and eating other bears. In fact, one of the first times he ever was seen was while feeding on a recently expired black bear, or at least what was left of him, and officials had to close down the Sundance Canyon Trail until he was done. He's like the carnivore conductor. Everyone has to follow his timing. He's always the last bear to hibernate, but the first.
You say carnivore conductor? That didn't go over my head.
Black bear, or at least what was left of him, and officials had to close down the Sundance Canyon Trail until he was done. He's like the carnivore conductor. Everyone has to follow his timing. He's always the last bear to hibernate, but the first one up. He has a home range of about 1,000 square miles, and like Genghis Grizzly, Boss is believed to have fathered 70% of all the bears. 1,000 square miles. Timing. He's always a...
Yo, imagine you just walking through the snow, and then this, like, you see a little nose. You're like, oh, look, it's a little squirrel or something, and then bah, this motherfucking bear pops up.
Last bear to hibernate, but the first one up. He has a home range of about 1,000 square miles, and like Genghis Grizzly, Boss is believed to have fathered 70% of all the bears in Banff. Brother Bear was going to work, but unfortunately, with every job, eventually you retire, and one day Boss tragically hit a train and was put down. The train, that is. Yeah, this walking plot armor survived. Tragically hit a train and was put down.
How do you hit a train?
The train, that is. Yeah, this walking plot armor survived being struck by a train twice. Mind you, trains are the #1 killer of all wildlife.
Wait, what?
Plot armor survived being struck by a train
twice.
Mind you, trains are the #1 killer of all wildlife in Banff, and Boss regularly uses the tracks as a buffet line to feed on spilled grain, as well as the carcasses of other animals that weren't strong enough to survive what he...
Bro, chat. If you're an animal and you get got by a fucking train, low-key, that's just like evolution getting rid of the dumb ones, right? Because that's like they're giving you every sort of notification that you could get, every sort of, like, you know what I'm saying?
Walked off twice.
How?
The definition of aura is a bear covered in oil from hours spent eating.
And it's not like they got a wide radius. It's like a train stays on the tracks. You have to be on the path. You have to either be on the path, hear it coming and not move, or be off the path, hear it come and panic and run into the path. Which that's probably what happens, right?
Killed him. But this God of War grizzly doesn't just not fear death, he straight up disrespects it. According to Parks Canada mapping, Boss regularly crosses high-speed, heavy traffic highways like Trans-Canada. And yeah, in case you were curious, that's another leading cause of bears getting disqualified from life. And that's not the only way he disregards death. Believe it or not, if there was something less than nothing, bears would want that to do with us. The best way to avoid a bear is, believe it or not, if there was something less than...
She just on her phone? What are you doing? Just like recording? Are you retarded? Bro, I could never, dude. I'd freak the fuck out, Chet.
Nothing, bears would want that to do with us. The best way to avoid a bear is to make enough noise to give the bear a chance to avoid you, and mother bears will actually den closer to people, knowing that'll keep baby aborting males away. Which means, ironically, some bears choose the man. Boss chooses himself. Bear 122 is a common visitor of compost around Banff, and he even forced the town to put up a 9,500 volt electric fence just to keep him from raiding the landfills. There's also that time you had Boss breaking into backyards just to eat from fruit trees. So of course the only option was to cut down the trees. The thing is, Boss was never known to be aggressive to people.
Cut down the trees? How about replant the trees?
But my theory is, he knows damn well we can't do a thing about him. Boss is a whole anime protagonist with predatory hardware, so you shouldn't be surprised that he has his own villain. One day, wildlife photographer John E. Marriott seemingly saw Boss at his worst. He could barely move, he had chunks taken out of his face, and for the first time, he had gotten got. And the most likely culprit, yeah, that would be this guy, Split Lip. Split Lip or Bear 136 was another mountain of a bear in Banff, and Boss's #1 op. They even have the same societal tendencies. In 2015, his tracking color.
Yeah, that's so funny to be like, yeah, it's his op. That is funny.
Researchers looking for it were met with
humanizing animal actions is hilarious.
And a mostly eaten grizzly corpse that wasn't Split Lip. They've been running fades for years, and with both being at least over 20, this beef's likely been marinating over a decade. And with Boss estimated at 28, he proves one thing: beware the old man in a profession where men die young. In fact, even his name is dangerous. Just not in the way you think. You see, when you name an animal, you're basically personalizing them. It's one thing to do it to a dog. It's a different game for a 700-pound Rottweiler. It turns animals into celebrities. If you think someone's not logic deficient enough to risk it all for a Boss selfie, yeah, Bison is more than a goodbye. It's enough for experts to caution against saying his name out of fear that he might literally gain too much clout for his own good. Think about it. This bear's aura is too strong to have a name. But there's more than one kind of aura, even in the animal world. You ever get that new kid in class that everyone just rocks with? Like the popular kids, the teachers. He can make nice with half the school by lunch. That's that.
The fucking capybara just chilling amongst. Oh, dude, that's hilarious.
Just rocks with. Like the popular kids, the teachers. He can make nice with half the school by lunch. That's that charismatic aura. And this is the picture of it. The story goes, a couple lost their dog while hiking in Kamchatka. Remind me to tell you why that's important later. And they fired up a drone to try and find him. Okay. Oh, they did. They found him traveling with 3 bears. There's a lot to unpack here. Number one, bears don't live in packs, thank the natural order for that, but that means this husky had the stones to pull up on a mother bear with cubs and didn't get sent to dog backwards. Not to mention, there are wolves in Kamchatka, meaning bears already have a predilection to canine prejudice. But speaking of Kamchatka, not only does it flex the highest density of brown bears on Earth, the constant fresh supply of salmon means they're one of the few animals alive that could maul a grizzly. So I'm not exaggerating, this dog chose the biggest land predators on the planet and adopted them. Yeah,
Is that probably why though, Chet, right? Is because like they're so well fed and like as long as he's not bothering them, they're chilling. I mean, it is weird that the mom's not fucking him up, but it also could be because the cubs are so old, right? That could be something to do with it, right?
He adopted them. You can tell they're just barely tolerating him. Whole time the husky's having the time of his life. Does this look familiar? I'll give you a hint.
I'm making waffles.
And I just know it was the mom telling the cubs ignore him and he'll go away that got him here. That's the real reason she doesn't suplex his world. Because then she'd be admitting she was wrong. There's no report the couple. That's the real reason.
I'm sorry. I know I pause a lot. I apologize, chat. I pause way too much and I go back way too much. But that I'm making waffles deserves one more.
The husky's having the time of his life. Does this look familiar? I'll give you a hint.
I'm making waffles.
Yeah.
And I just know it was the mom telling the cubs ignore him and he'll go away that got him here. That's the real reason she doesn't suplex his world. Because then she'd be admitting she was wrong. There's no report the couple got their dog back, but I don't think that's not their dog no more. Especially since if I had a nickel for every time a drone caught a dog breaking bear boundaries, I'd have at least 2 more nickels than I woke up with. Oh, and it's more than just dogs.
Oh, they're just
in
having
2018,
fun,
a Polish farmer lost one of his cows, and for 2 months straight, she was unaccounted for. That is until she was caught posted up with a herd of wild, untamed bison. I could make the joke here, but I don't want to give guidelines a chance, so hopefully the comments do it for me. In 2016, another drone captured a pod of beluga whales that had adopted a single lone narwhal.
Dude,
just for
that's
reference,
sick.
narwhals are painfully shy, people
just
fearing
the
eternally
homies.
introverted anxiety whales that could genuinely get past tense by a panic attack. But as of 2022, he's been running with the same beluga squad every year. This is Aura. Also, fun fact, Narluga hybrids are an actual thing, so maybe this is the same
Narluga.
vibe. Probably helps that despite resembling a sun-starved dolphin, belugas have the intimidation of a cinnamon roll. Next animal looks
fucking
like
with
a
the
cinnamon
kids, that's
roll,
funny.
but could absolutely fold you.
Okay. Let's rob her house. She's just a defensive still.
You know, when I saw this video, my first thought, that golden retriever's there strictly for vibes. Come to realize, that's not a golden retriever, it's a furry Grim Reaper. It's a Great Pyrenees, a canine insurance policy built to run fades with wolves and bears.
Oh, we just watched the dog. Dude, see, this is perfect. We just watched the dog video, now we're watching this. Was this dog in there?
Reaper. It's a Great Pyrenees, a canine insurance policy built to run fades with wolves and bears. It's old man country strength in a canine's body.
I mean,
If you
look
meet
how
someone's
big they are,
Pyrenees
bro.
for the first time and they're all over you, yeah, that's not affection. It's basically a vibe check and fail at your own expense, because the moment you do something they don't like to them, or God forbid someone they care about, this is Casper. He's not a ghost, but damn it if he doesn't make him. He's a 21-month-old, 85-pound cotton-tip goofball, at least according to owner John Werville. He lets chickens sleep on his head, he treats the sheep like family, and he's pretty outgoing for a guard dog. Until it's time to go out and be a guard dog.
Until it's time
On
to run the fades?
2022, 11 coyotes raided the farm in Georgia, and 3 managed to break into a pen. If that
Oh,
was
they
a
got
motivation
mauled.
enough, Casper also had a mate, Daisy, who was pregnant with 8 puppies. Casper knew what time it was. Casper cleared the 4-foot hog wire fence and not so gently perp walked the first 3 off the census in seconds. Casper then jumped the fence again, and this time went after the entire pack, and even with
Oh, he fucking ran him down, chat. Oh, he hopped the fence and ran him down. Oh my god.
seconds. Casper then jumped the fence again, and this time went after the entire pack, and even with 5 other Pyrenees on the farm, Casper went at it alone. No backup. This
Yeah,
was
he
personal.
ran him
Casper
down,
would
bruh.
disappear for 2 days, until reappearing with cuts, torn skin, and a severely injured tail that ended up getting amputated. I
Damn.
showed the other guys, but corpses aren't allowed on YouTube. The next day, people found the bodies of the decommissioned coyotes littered around.
Damn,
railroad
bro,
tracks.
that's
The carnage
insane.
totaling 8 dead coyotes. If you remember how many unborn
He
pups
fucking
they lost,
hunted
I
him
don't
down.
believe
He
8 was an
ran out
accident.
on him. That's
Casper would
crazy.
spend 2 weeks at the emergency vet and another 6 at the animal clinic to treat his wounds of
Bro,
war.
look at him, bro, chat. Oh my god, look at him, dude. Dude, what a G-ass dog, dude. What a fucking legend.
Spend 2 weeks at the emergency vet and another 6 at the animal clinic to treat his wounds of war. But thanks to Samaritans donating $15,000 to his medical bills, Casper would make a full
Damn.
recovery. And in 2024, he was voted the People's Choice Pup and won Farm Dog of the Year.
Fuck
Today,
yeah.
Casper's retired, and after single-handedly saving his entire bloodline, as he should. Next animal also retired, but only after saving.
It's not Pepsi. I just get the cups for free. This is juice. I'm drinking pineapple and mango juice. I took two different ones and mixed them into one. That's what I'm drinking.
Saving his entire species. Except this is the one time the aura came from stolen valor. Aura fraud is a crime, and his prehistoric plus-size pebble committed it. Giant tortoises actually used to be seasoned all over, but that changed the moment folks discovered how good turtle meat tastes.
Turtle meat?
It was actually ridiculous. You know, they didn't get a scientific name for hundreds of years, all because the sailors traveling with them kept eating them before they made it back to London. It got to the point where the population of giant tortoises on Hispaniola
Dude,
Island
what?
was 3 males and 12 females away from getting discontinued permanently. They started
Yo,
a breeding
turtle
program,
tastes
but off
good,
the
chat?
bat, only 2 males were able to contribute. That was
I feel
until they
like
realized
I feel like turtle's disgusting.
that a tortoise living in the San Diego Zoo had actually been born on Hispaniola, and DNA tests confirmed that Diego was exactly what they were looking for, and so recruited him. Diego peeped the census and immediately came to his senses.
Hell
He locked
yeah.
in. They said, "Go Diego, go." Boy, did he ever.
Ooh.
3 male Hood Island tortoises were brought into the breeding program, and Sir Diego proceeded to score a career high in spreading thighs. Do turtles even have? Yes. With more rounds than Nick's cannon, the amorous anvil with legs spawned 900 children and fathered 40% of all the tortoises born in the program, forever immortalizing him as a turtle who
Yo!
laid so much pipe he
That's the turtle con right there, bro. Holy shit, 900?
carried the species. And I do mean carry. There were 3 males, but one of them literally
It's also crazy to think about that Genghis Khan had more than that.
couldn't bump shells if their species depended on it. Either that or he was one of those watching turtles. Now, I'm not a mathemacologist, but 3 males with one pulling 40% and the other
He was a
contributing
turtle
vibes
cuck?
means
That's fucked.
Diego wasn't the MVP. That turtle was E5, and logic says his loins were responsible
E5?
for 60% of the output. But apparently
Damn.
Diego being a bigger, louder
60?
personality means he siphoned E5's clout, although to be fair, being named after a fucking bingo space didn't help. E5 was quiet, reserved, and rarely witnessed in the act. Meanwhile, Diego was the type to crash.
True, they did him hella dirty. Diego in E5? What the fuck is that? Why they do E5 like that?
Means he
Bingo
siphoned
space is
E5's
crazy.
clout, although to be fair, being named after a fucking bingo space didn't help.
Yeah,
E5
that's crazy
was quiet,
work.
reserved, and rarely witnessed in the act. Meanwhile, Diego was the type to crash Keratin and let the whole island hear about it. This was a Turtle 2 man that went on a legendary run to save their species, which now numbers 2,300 on Española. Both tortoises have
Hell
retired
yeah.
and have since been returned to their native
Jeez.
island almost 80 years after they were first
Yeah,
included.
look
Moral
at
of
him
the story, there's a
just
lot in the
chilling.
name. Call a bear a boss and he'll act like one. Name a shell jockey after the spawn of Elon, you're setting both up for failure. But failure's not even a concept to the next animal, because when you talk about Aura, this guy might have won himself a life supply.
That's that ultimate post-nut clarity, chat. He fucking froze. He said, "What did I do?"
Boss, and he'll act like one. Name a shell jockey after the spawn of Elon, you're setting both up
Look,
for
he
failure.
said-
But failure's not even a concept to the next animal, because when you talk about Aura, this guy might have won himself a life supply. This is
Okay.
Jacob the Ion.
Hell
Ion,
yeah.
cuz he just refuses to take the L. And earlier this year, he and his brother broke a record in the most unexpected way possible. But to
Okay.
really appreciate how insane this is, you need to know just how they got here. Jacob belongs to a super rare population of tree climbing lions in Queen Elizabeth National Park.
Wait, yeah,
What
that-
was really
Dude, I didn't even pick that up. He's in a tree. What the fuck?
rare was his plot armor. In 2019, 5-year-old Jacob stepped on a wheel trap, a brutal torture device meant to bring down buffalo and hippos.
Damn.
That'd be curtains for most lions, but Jacob managed to escape, although not without sacrificing a leg. And although he was kept alive by pridemates bringing him food and rangers eventually treating his wound with antibiotics, the chances a three-legged lion can last more than a year are low, and they were about to get a lot worse. In March 2020, 6 of Jacob's family members were poisoned
Actual
by
image
poachers
of
and body
Jacob's
parts
truck,
sold
right.
on the black market.
Wow.
Being a tripod predator is already life and
Fucking
impossible,
assholes,
though. Doing
man.
that without a pride behind you is a for sure death sentence. Death seemed even more certain because 6 weeks after that, Jacob was gored by a buffalo, gifting him a gruesome
Wait, that was that video?
more certain because 6 weeks after
Maybe I'm thinking of a different video. I'm probably thinking of a different video. There's no way I've seen this one, but that video looks
that,
familiar.
Jacob was gored by a buffalo, gifting him a gruesome puncture hole in his chest. Somehow Jacob survived everything, but the jihad of life didn't end there. Even with brother Tibu by his side, there's one big risk with being a lion without a pride, and one night, it happened. Jacob and Tibu lost a
Yeah.
fight with a rival group of males, and as
Oof.
lion culture states, all losers must be banished from the territory. Problem was, the only way out involved crossing the Kazinga Channel, a channel believed to hold the world's largest population of hippos and crocodiles. Both a massive threat to
no.
an Afro-Cuban
Yeah, hell
Jacob had already
no.
beat the odds like a Cherokee drum, but this time had to be too much. They
Nope.
did it. Jacob and Tibu swam nearly a mile
what?
across croc and
Jeez.
hippo seasoned waters at night. It was the longest distance a lion has ever been recorded swimming, and in Kazinga, most don't make it past 100 meters. The brothers lasted a length of 14 football fields, and the craziest part, it didn't take one try. It took 3 attempts, and one of them ended with a mysterious creature stalking them and forcing the pair back to shore. Do you know the nerve it takes to swim through a steroid lizard luncheon and a
That's
hippo pool party
insane.
in the dark for 45 minutes straight while having no way of knowing if something's following you?
That's
What
insane,
even
bro.
motivates 2 lions to risk their entire lives swimming through a literal, yeah, that'd do it. You see, lions
Very
often mark
true.
their territory with roaring, and after through a literal, yeah, that'd
That is. I like how he's like. Right there. I like how he's there. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that'll definitely do it, chat.
do it. You see, lions often mark their territory with roaring, and after losing that crucial fight, the pair heard the sounds of lionesses and the promise of promiscuity on the other side of hell. So yeah, lioness? Nah, them boys did it for the lion yash. Let's pray this lion gets laid, cause that DNA going to waste would be the real tragedy.
True.
Second time this video, animals went on a 2-man to save the lineage, but the next animals are the ratio of destruction hell-bent on destroying everyone else's. But if you know anything about honey badgers, you know this Oreo otter puts the
Oh,
aura
here we
in
go.
horrify.
Yep.
The same dust weasel that sleeps off snake venom and goes 3v1 on hyenas and still solos. And there wasn't a honey menace with more aura than Stoffel. Let me tell you something about Stoffel. Stoffel
Okay.
is disrespect in the form of a black Air
Ah.
Force bowl cut weasel. He's
Look
the
at him
mascot of
dancing
habitual
on him.
line stepping, and like IBS, you can't stop him, you can only pray to contain him. He was actually found by caretaker Brian Jones, credits to the weasel distribution system, but Stoffel is like a 4-legged tornado in his home, nuking the place and daring him to do something about it. Eventually, he
Jesus
brought
Christ.
Stoffel to the Mahala Hala Animal Rehabilitation Center, and if you think being around other
Mahala
animals
Hala
calm this
Hala?
Tasmanian devil, you
Mahala
don't know
Hala?
Stoffel. There wasn't a single animal
I didn't
this
know how to
furry
say that word.
thumbtack wouldn't beef with, from messing with a rhino 100 times his size, to running a fade with a serval next door, to even folding an adult tawny eagle. no foul. He'd also harass kitchen staff and help himself to the fridge. Who was gonna stop him? And it turned out Stoffel wasn't fit to be
I'm not
released in the
stopping him.
wild, so this felon ferret was here to stay. At one point,
I'm
he
not
broke through
trying
an
to
electric
stop his
fence
ass.
and started bullying the lions, specifically chasing the male around and trying to bite his
Yo, I mean,
lions.
come on, bro.
The lion actually grabbed Stoffel, but fun fact, honey badgers are built like a comeback, and loose skin around the neck meant he could turn around and bite the lion right back. He must have been feeling himself, because Stoffel ended up going back to the lions a second time and nearly got mauled to death, spending over
Bruh.
2 months in the animal hospital. And the lions a second
I'm sorry, this little motherfucker trying to sneak through this little hole got me laughing. He did what?
bite the lion right
He
back.
went back?
He must have been
He
feeling
spun
himself,
back?
'cause Stoffel ended up going back to the lions a second time and nearly got mauled to death, spending over 2
Damn.
months in the animal hospital. And the first thing
Yeah,
this
they were sick
monochrome
of his
crash
little
out did
ass.
fresh out was try to get it back in blood. And
Of
at this
course.
point, Brian knew he had to lock up his war weasel for his own good. And that's when things really got disrespectful. In his new enclosure, Stoffel climbed a tree by a wall and got out. Should have seen that coming, but then they
Yeah.
removed all the trees by the wall. The convict spent all night bending and twisting a branch until it broke, carried it to a wall, leaned it against, and escaped again. So now all the trees were out. Low dip for the Stoff. This time he dug up all the rocks in the enclosure, stacked them high enough, and emancipated himself.
Yo, this motherfucker's an escape artist.
Twisting a branch until it
Artiste.
broke, carried it to a wall, leaned it against, and escaped again. So now all the trees were out. Low dip for the Stoff. This time he dug up all the rocks in the enclosure,
escape
stacked them high enough,
artiste.
and emancipated himself again. So there went the rocks, but like a fool, they left him with mud. A few mud
True.
piles later, and Harry Houdini humbled them again. One time, someone made the mistake of leaving a rake in there. Guess what he did. At
Yeah.
one point, they thought they were bringing in a love interest named Hammy, but all they really did was literally gift him a partner in crime. Like Shadow Clone Jutsu, now there was 2 of them. There was one night Stoffel broke into his caretaker's home via
Oh no, dude! They gave him a Bonnie
like
to his
Shadow Clone
Clyde,
Jutsu.
bro.
Now there was 2 of them.
Now
There was
they're
one
riding
night
out
Stoffel
together.
Broke into his caretaker's home via rocks through the window and even tried
Rock
the
through
door.
the window's
No one got hurt.
crazy.
Sometimes it's about sending a message. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show nigga. He made it clear that every second he was behind a wall was a choice, cause there's a twist. It was all a game. The Weasel Menace had been hand raised
Dude,
by
that's
humans
insane.
his entire life and had imprinted on them. He wasn't going anywhere. Fun fact, honey badgers are like the mama's boys of mustelids, with pups staying with their mothers for up to 2 years. As far as
Oh, I
Stoffel
didn't
was
know that.
concerned, Brian was mama. So yeah, Casper was fueled by family. And
Family.
Jacob's motivation was hacooning some tatas. This dusty sand weasel was memeing the entire
Dude,
time.
that's
And
crazy
I checked,
that
he's
he
still
could just
alive.
get out
He's
with
currently
everything.
27 and has lost most of his teeth, but he still has Hammy to chew his meals for him.
Hell
Stoffel
yeah,
even
homie.
has a son named Stumpy, guaranteeing that the family business is alive at least another generation.
Fuck yeah,
But
I
yeah,
love
that's gonna
it.
do it for this video. Make sure you drink water, hug your mother. If you ever wanted to meet Stoffel, you should probably get on that.
Yeah, real shit. Dude, that's insane. 7 to 8 years, up to 26 in captivity. That's wild. Yo, make sure to drink water.
I'ma see y'all
Hug your mother.
in the next one.
In the next one, brother. Stunting on him, bro. Aw. Aw. Now, chat. Now you go hug a honey badger. You go do that. Go try that. Fucking loser. Fucking. Get mauled real quick. 1, 2. Never catch me doing that. They're cute. I'll watch them hug each other. All right. I'm never gonna go do it myself though. Oh. Oh, Jesus, little guys. God damn, dude, what a fucking banger. Holy shit, chat. Oh, what a good one. Yo, hey, if you're not subscribed to Casual Geographic, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you watching me if you're not subscribed to him? That doesn't make sense. Go do that. And then also, yeah, we're going to catch up on these. We're going to just keep busting these out, man, as quick as I can. There's still a bunch that haven't, any of them, basically, any of them that aren't, like, red. You can go back and pause if you want to, whatever the fuck. Any of them that aren't red, we're gonna wind up watching. So we got a lot. We got a lot to catch up on, man. It's huge. Alright. I'll catch you next one, Chad. I'll catch you next time, man. Deuces, 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 deuces.